So they say that when it comes to setting goals, the clearer the better. And that it's important to have clarity and know exactly where you're heading. And they say the more specific you are, the easier it is for you to hit your goal. And I'm sure you've heard of the concept reverse engineering, and that's another way where basically instead of starting from the beginning, you start from the end point and you just work your way backwards. So, for example, I'm going to highlight 2 points. One, we're going to talk about how to make your goal as clear as possible, and two, we'll talk about the process, right? So, first of all, let's just talk about how to make your goal clear. And the reason I say that is because me personally, probably on my channel is already, I've said I want to make 100 grand a month. I want to make 10k profit a month or whatever it is. The truth is, this is just a figure I've seen online. This is like the number that keeps going about everyone's like, ah, I made 10k this month. Oh, I made 100k this month. I made this, I made that. But the reason I'm sharing this is because I was watching something the other day and it was basically saying to make sure that your goal is your goal. And, like I thought about it and it's so true. It's like a lot of times people see people with these goals that they're sharing. It could be a materialistic thing, it could be a Ferrari, it could be a Rolex. So it could be material things, but you got to ask yourself, like, break it down. Like, is this something you really want, or is it just something you've seen online and it looks cool, right? Do you actually want to drive a supercar, or do you just seeing someone driving on it and you're visualizing yourself, having those things? But is that the actual goal you want, right? Because everyone's definition of success is different, right? Each to their own. Some people like the material side of things. Some people prefer just the freedom it brings, right? Or the independence. So my point is, everyone goals are different, and it's really easy to just kind of like see other people, other successful people, and want to just like replicate it, right? So I use the 10k example because I know from my experience that I'm like, yeah, I've said it loads of times, and I'm like, yeah, 10k a month sounds like a good number. Like, I think I could live with that. But the reason I'm sharing this is like, how do you know 10k a month is enough for you or not? You know what I mean? Like, 10k a month essentially could be more than enough, or it could be nowhere near enough. And again, that all depends on your goals and how you visualize your future self, right? And this will lead to my next part of an exercise I want to do. And it's something I've been doing. And essentially, what I want you to do, I want you to be very clear on exactly what your goals are. So, for this example, let's just say your financial goals. How much do you exactly want to make? What does that look? What does that financial freedom version of you look like? What does it consist of? And the best way to do that is to just break down exactly how much it would cost to be that financial freedom, independent version of you. Because you can say 10k a month, right? But what does 10k really look like? Instead of saying these random numbers that you keep seeing people saying, I think I'll be all right with 10k, 20k, 30k, whatever, break it down, innit? Like, because your lifestyle may be very different to someone else. You may visualize your future with, for example, 3 kids. So someone else who visualizes their future as a single male, they don't need to visualize themselves renting, I don't know, a 3 bedroom apartment or owning a 3 bedroom house, right? Their vision will be very different. They may want to be just in a condo or a 1 bedroom apartment. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm only trying to. My point is that, again, if you're clear from your goal and you know exactly where you're heading, what exactly you want in your life, then you can start figuring out how that looks like and what that costs. And that is that helps to give you like clarity on your financial goals. So, for example, I've created a spreadsheet. I'll show you actually how it looks like, because I did this for myself. Um, And basically, it looks like this. It's just a spreadsheet you can make yourself. And basically, on the left, it has categories, and then it has your monthly expenses. They're all calculated automatically. Um, the total of what you'll spend a month. And this is a good exercise for you to figure out exactly how much you need to live the lifestyle you want. So, for example, I've got housing, electricity, internet, groceries, transportation. I've just written like 5 good subscription. This is just like a food subscription. I've written gym, more subscriptions, dining out, clothing, travel, saving, investment, car insurance. These are just like standard things, but you can break this down based on your lifestyle, right? You might want a chef, so I don't know. Let's change that to chef. You might want a chef to cook for you and your family. You might be renting an office, so you might want to add office. So, for example, just for the example, let's say my future self wants to be in a half decent apartment in like the city center, right? In London, let's just say that. So let's just say that will cost maybe £3,000, right? So we put £3,000 in here. Let's say, I don't know, the gas and electricity will cost you another £600. So add 600. Say your internet, I don't know, it's like say 50 quid. Say your groceries now, I don't know, you don't really want to be looking at the bill. So let's just say you set yourself a budget of like £20 a day. Obviously, no one spends £20 a day, but if you want to be in a financial position where you want to have enough money, where if for any reason you want to spend £20 a day on food, that would be what, like £600 a month. Let's just say that. Like I said, these are just random example. So we say 600. What else? Transportation. So I want a G-Wagon. But again, I've slowly started to calm down and realize, actually, do I really want a G-Wagon, or do I just see everyone with G-Wagons? G-Wagon is my favorite car, but it's pure because of that. It gives me that kind of off-road feel, and I love to travel. So it's either between a G-Wagon and or like a Land Rover Discovery in it. So let's just say a Land Rover Discovery. Let's say that costs me £900 a month to lease, yeah? Let's just say hypothetically. So let's say 900. My food subscriptions, let's say 100 a week. And this is like, you get those like 3 meals a day. So that's what, those pre-made meals. I've always wanted, once I have enough money, I want to just have my food ready to go. I think cooking takes so much time. I think if you can have like a subscription of like decent food, especially if you're going gym and working out, and me always wanted to make sure that I get the right protein. I think getting a good like prep meal subscription that you just know 3 meals a day ready for you. Just open your fridge, you warm it up, you get your protein intake. It's perfect for exercising. You're eating clean. You know what I mean? It's perfect. So let's just say hypothetically that's £400 a month. So that's 400. Say gym. I went to David Lloyd back in the day when I thought I had a bit of money, but I didn't. I was paying £250 in London. So let's say £250 for that gym, for that leisure centre. Subscriptions again, let's say 100 quid. Dining out, say I want to eat out, I don't know, once a week. Let's say 70 quid, so 140, 280, 740, 210, 280. Let's just say 280 quid on eating out. Clothing, personal care. If I want to buy, obviously I'm not going to buy clothes every time. I'm not really too clothy, materialistic, so it may change over time. However, for now, I'm not too arsed, but let's just say, hypothetically, 400 quid a month on clothes. Travel, again, maybe a spare £1,000 a month, just if I wanted to travel. Savings investments, we'll leave that for now. But no, we won't. Let's just say I wanted to save try to save like £1,000 a month, um, just saving, or let's just say £1,000 a month, hypothetically. So based on those figures, I know actually I don't my goal is not to make 10k a month. My goal is to make £8,580 precisely a month. So it's very random. You don't hear people saying, "Oh, I made £8,580 a month." Why? Because it's not specific to that individual. And I think it's a great exercise because it can really break down and give you clarity on exactly what you want financially in your life. What does that look like? Because you might say 10k a month, but when you break it down, it's actually no, actually, I don't need 10k a month. I might need 15k a month, or oh, I don't need that much, right? So it's good. And like I said, this is random, but this could be different. Again, this you may not need to pay. Some people want to live in Thailand, right, where you can buy like not buy. You can get a beautiful villa maybe for like £1,200 a month, right? So boom, that someone's goal now would go down to 6,780, right? Again, their utilities in Thailand, for example, would probably drop down to maybe even 300 quid. Again, so now this dropped down to 6,480. Also, with they would not need a food subscription of 400 quid, because in Thailand you can eat for basically nothing. And I'm sure you could probably hire a chef to make you meals for maybe even less than that, maybe even like £200 a month, right? And then gym, obviously you won't have David Lloyd. You might still get something prestige that still has like a sauna and steam for maybe a fraction of that price. So anyways, now you can see it drop down to 6,280, right? So my point is, the clearer you are to your goals and that you are with your goals, the easier it is for you to work towards it. Because now the next step is, now we understand exactly what that looks like based on the lifestyle we want. We know exactly what we need to have that lifestyle, right? So the second part now is, like I said before in the beginning of the video, it's reverse engineering. So it's working our way backwards. It's like, okay, if I had £6,280 a month, what would I have done to get to that stage, right? So obviously I'd have to earn that money, but what would I do to get that money? So from my example, for use me as example, as you know, I'm building an e-commerce brand as we speak. So I know now the lifestyle I want will consist of me having £6,280 profit a month. So I've made the exercise, I've made another spreadsheet, and this is my profit target. This one is 6,890. So actually, this is actually true to me at what I wanted. So not far off. This is 6,280, but this one is 6,890. This is what I have done. So based on my spreadsheet, based on what I want for my lifestyle, it is going to be £6,890. So what I've done now is I've reverse engineered exactly what I need to do and what I need to have for me to make that money. So in this sense, I am building an e-commerce brand. So here the spreadsheet has COGS, so that's your cost of goods. I have my selling price, I have my target profit, I have the price of how much I can spend to acquire that customer, so that would be using paid advertisement. I know exactly how much units I need to sell based on that profit margin that I need to hit to get that 6,890 profit. I know it by day how much I need to sell to get that on a monthly basis, and I also know how much money I need to spend on advertisement monthly based on the target profit and the acquisition cost that we have to work with. So I know I need to spend £10,413 a month based on the target profit I need and how much how much money on advertisement I can spend to acquire that profit. I know exactly in detail, even by daily spend. I know for me to spend £29.50 to acquire three to acquire 12 customers, it's going to cost me £347 a day, based on the acquisition cost to get the target profit of £19.50 per sale. So this is just an example. My point is, I've been able to reverse engineer, and I know exactly, I don't have this yet, right? But I know exactly I need to be spending this amount of money monthly. I need to acquire my customers no more than £29.50. If I hit a target profit of 19.50, I and sell 353, I will then get my £6,890 profit a month. So this can work with anything, right? I hope that's made a bit of sense, but my point is that you can do a simple exercise, like literally just having everything clear in front of you, and you just know exactly where you're heading. The more specific you are, um, the more easier it is going to get to your goal. You know, you're not just winging it and just making it up on the way, like, I might want this or I might want that. That doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Like, the clearer you are with exactly where you want to go, what your life looks like, if it's your financial goals, or even, you know, how you see yourself. You know, I mean, it could be career wise, it could be finances, could be health, whatever it is. You know, I mean, we could talk about health. If you want to be someone that's, I don't know, has a six pack, you can then you can do the same thing. You can reverse engineer and be like, okay, what will it take for me to have a body like that? Well, I know that I'm gonna have to be working out at least 5 times a week. I know that I need to, what is it, 1.6 um, grams of protein per kilogram, right? So you can weigh yourself up and be like, okay, I need, I don't know, 200 grams of protein a day to make sure I have enough protein. I know I need to work out, yeah, 5 times a week. I need to make sure I'm in a calorie deficit of this amount of calories, right? I know if I do this consecutively for the next 6 weeks, I will lose this amount of weight. You know what I mean? Based on all the muscle groups I'm targeting on my diet, I will have this six pack, or I will have this perfect body, right? You can work your way backwards and know exactly what consists of having this target body, that you want, right? And that's the same maybe in a career, with anything, right? Basically, the clearer you are, the easier it will be. So it's just, yeah, I wanted to share that because I am trying to be as clear as possible. Another thing that I do is I've literally, I'm sure you've heard of, what do you call it, of like vision boards. Where vision boards are great, where you put images of exactly what you want, you know, to succeed, what you want to achieve in your personal life. And the more images, the more visual it will be, the more clearer it can be. It could be the car you want to drive, the house you want, the lifestyle you want, the clothes you wear, the partner you want, the family you want to have, you know, the experience you want to be. Everything. You can literally pull images from the internet of people you admire or things you want, and you can just put it into a vision board. Even write exactly, specifically, like we did today in the exercise, exactly how much you need to make a day, how much money you need to have that life. You know what I'm saying? And again, it can be very different to each individual. Some people may want to live on 5K a month. Some people maybe only need 3K a month, 10K a month. Some people want 20K a month. Some people's goals could be to change the world. It could be outside of just them. Their goals, maybe to build schools. So for example, 5 grand, you can't build no schools for 5K. You know what I mean? So my point is, like, you may say, you want this goal, but if you're not specific and you don't know what it takes to get there, then you're just shooting in the dark. But if you know exactly what it takes and what action steps you need to take, um, then it's just much easier, isn't it? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that because that's what I'm doing in my personal life. Is I've visualized the person I want to be, and I'm working my way backwards. And I'm like, okay, Zach, what do I need to do to be this person? And specifically, okay, what action do I need to take? What money do I need? What do I need to sell? What profit do I need to make? What acquisition? Um, how much money can I spend to acquire that customer, right? How much do I need to sell to even get that, right? How much money do I need to get that, right? I need to know every detail, because the more I know, the more clearer I know what action steps I need to take, the easier it's going to be for me, because I know every day that I'm working towards something, and I know the calculations um, are there in front of me, right? So as long as I follow the plan, of course, things are not always going to go apart a plan, but there's a step-by-step process that I just need to follow, because I've literally I'm designing my future, right? So I'm just doing the work um, to get there. So again, whatever you lot want to do in your life, any goals you want to set, just literally use this as an exercise. Write down as clear as possible what you want from your life, how you see yourself, your future self, what it consists of, what action you need to take, what person you need to be, and just do it. But yeah, a bit of a different video today, but I've been wanting to share some type of value, and this has helped me, and it's helping me right now as I transition to my to my future self. And I just want to share that, and I hope someone else can benefit from it as well. Anyways, you lot, peace and love.